What is going on, everybody? It is Jay Wilson. Let me get this situated here. So, got a lot of things to discuss. How's the stream? Is it good? Is it not good? I'd like to hear from you. It would be great. It would be fantastic. Everything's in Italian. So, I'm going to go ahead and pour myself some Boom Eagle Rare. Beautiful. And then we'll get rocking. But how was everybody's holiday? Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa? How was it all? I'd love to hear from you folks and how things are going. Right after this, we're going to immediately go straight to a live video. For members only. And I got a lot to update the members on because, of course, they're the first to know what is happening. And I apologize for the lack thereof. YouTube does some weird stuff. But I got a challenge. I have 30 hours, well, less than 30 hours. And I have to get 300 more followers on Cche's Instagram. So I'll post that real quick. Biggs, what is happening? Got the little Instagram action. Cche US. Instagram. Boom. I think that's it. I don't know if that's how it comes across, but it's Cche US. I got 30 hours. Today's video, we're going to go over my top 5 with some honorable mentions. Things that I use for my aquariums, frogs, etc. in this house. This is not sponsored. There is $0 that went into this. And this is specifically what I'm using and I enjoy the most here in 2020. My Hanukkah was crazy, but those are the best holidays. Hello. It was crappy. Didn't do anything. Family has COVID. Richard, I'm sorry. I hear a lot of that. It's crappy. And I understand it could be a very difficult time, especially with everything that's, transpired this year. But I think more importantly for me, I was watching my brother graduate Air Force basic training this morning. And we'll get into the fish stuff. This is actually really bright. I apologize. But we were watching it live and there's kind of like, I don't want to say a glitch because it's not a glitch. It's a streaming issue. I have them, you have them, she has them. It's the whole thing. And at the end of the day, everyone was, let me take that back. There was a lot of folks complaining. Oh, I waited an hour just to see their face. First of all, they had masks on, so you could barely see their face. They're all in the same uniform. But everyone was complaining that I could see in the chat. It was, this is horrible. How could you let this happen? We waited so long. We just wanted to see him. Now, I'm not taking away the emotion. I'm not taking away the fact that you sat there and watched this. But you have just ripped all of the positivity, all of the good from what those airmen, those people from all over the world coming together as one to work as a united team for a common goal, a common purpose. They were maybe bettering their family. Maybe they were bettering their future for college education. Maybe this is what they needed for discipline. I don't know everyone's method of why they did what they did, but everyone that was complaining was ripping it from them. And it was just kind of sad. So I call my mom, she's complaining, and I had to tell her, 18 years ago, you got to see me and you got to hug me when I was done doing my pass and review. Yet 18 years later, if we had the same technology, you wouldn't have been able to watch what you got to witness. And so I think what we're losing is we never really talk about the gratefulness, the positivity. We never harbor that. We always just talk about shit with no silver lining. Horrible year. Why? There was no good in that year. There was no good in this moment. Come on. I had a shit year. I got a divorce. I had to sell my house. I moved almost 4 hours just so I could be closer to my son in a place that I'm very thankful for, but was not my first choice. Couldn't travel, couldn't do my job properly, going in and out of depressive and tired states, doing a job that I didn't sign up for because I can't travel. I couldn't see my family. It's a lot of crap. A lot of people that I've known passed away or got sick, not just from COVID, but from everything. But I got a brand new career in March. I opened an amazing relationship with somebody that really, truly understands me on every level. I've developed friendships that I never would have developed before. I get to see my son more than what I saw him before, and I want to see him even more. I got to spend my first Christmas watching my son open presents and understand the gravity of what Christmas is truly all about. I got to see my mom, my sister, my brother, and my immediate family more than I've ever seen them before. It's a lot. I'm grateful. So while I understand there's a lot of crap, there is also a lot of amazing things that are happening. I got to, really do some things that I never thought I would do with my aquarium. So Jay Wilson, nothing compares to that 100% as a single father to a handsome 6-year-old boy. I get you. Yeah, and I don't want to say I'm a single father because he has a mother, and I guess I don't understand the connotation, but I'm not remarried, and to see the relationship between Wendy and my son develop is phenomenal. Matter of fact, I'll post a video. We wrapped underwear for Christmas, and I told him, Christmas is when you're good and you're grateful, you give things, it feels really good, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you also get presents, and, it's dad's birthday. It's, if you're religious in Christianity, it's Jesus's birthday, and that's when it's, celebrated. And then there's a lot of other religious things that, surround that day. And knowing when I was a kid, if I opened underwear, folks, you got to see it. So I'll definitely share that on Instagram after this. By single father, you mean I've raised him since he's 5 months. He and his. Wow, good. That's awesome, and that's amazing. You got to meet me. Yep, I got to meet Beeves Reef. I got to reconnect with folks. I got to connect friendships. I got to help folks off a ledge. Like, man, I don't even have a stir. This is not good. There's just so many amazing things that do happen inside of a chaotic time. So, but we're in Ottawa, been in lockdown since Boxing Day. Yikes. Whew. Hot diggity dog. I'm not promoting, but I'm not promoting drinking, but Buffalo Trace Distillery, Eagle Rare, very hard to get in Oklahoma. Found an amazing place that does a great job of getting some very rare stuff. It is what it is. All right. I want to know right now if you can only choose one product that you use around your aquariums, what would it be? I want to get to the meat, the juices of this, really discuss it and have a good time with it. So one thing that you absolutely cannot live without, it could be anything, for your aquariums, vivariums, paludariums, ripariums, saltwater, freshwater, ponds, whatever it is, what is your favorite go-to product? And then I'll discuss a couple more things. My CTA return bumps. Hey, yo. So like I said in the beginning, I have 300 100 more followers on CJ US because I challenged myself to 13,000, and if I don't get it, I'll fail. And okay, water, Big Daddy, whap, whap. We get it. You need water. It's something that you technically don't, I guess you don't really need per se, but it's an item. Let's do, I don't even know how to explain it because water could be an item too. Honestly, we cannot live without sponge filters. Okay, so freshwater Canucks, the Canadian A. So Flipper, okay, good. Prime and Mason jar, okay, that's good. My bar fridge, touche. Towel, okay. So let me get into some of mine. And I don't want to say these are my favorite overall, but these have been my major go-tos. And I'll explain each and every one. Number one, the clamp. And this I had these for a while, then I didn't, and I kept saying that I needed them, and I finally purchased them kind of midway through 2020. And these are a lifesaver for me because it helps when I do my water changes. It helps when I'm holding backgrounds from Universal Rocks up there. It helps to hold things in place whenever I'm trying to glue things, whether it's for the saltwater aquarium or this. Yes, I do not use these for anything that Don Gray is talking about. But yes, these bad boys right here. This is a big time go-to for me right now. Does anybody use these? I would love to know. And I have the exact same clamp, can use it for many things. Yeah, I'd love to know if you use clamps. Just curious. We find sponges more reliable that hang on the backs and parameters stay stable. That's, we have to work on how to use hang on the backs. Well, we can get to that on at another point because I don't necessarily think your parameters would stay more stable. But we can always work to that. So look, a lot of people are using these, and deli cups. Okay, yeah, I use those to make my fly larva for the frogs. So that was number one, and these are in no particular order. And if you have questions, please let me know. And after this, like I said, we're going to do a members only, and you're going to find out a lot of juicy juice. That's where I think I'm just going to start venting, but I'll get to that then after this. So the next piece of equipment that I have really, really been utilizing a lot of is this. Now, these were sent to me recently, but I had one prior to, but I have one left. And the reason why I like them is because they are very, very versatile. I have three, matter of fact, I can turn this. I've got three over that bad boy. I have two over an aquarium that even if I turn the camera, you wouldn't be able to see. And then I am running one. Where am I running one other? Oh, on another desktop aquarium. These have an awesome flexible arm. They have a dial for the intensity, but you can plug them into a smart plug and it's like bingo. I think they're like $69. They're very, very attractive. And I honestly got rid of all the bar lights across the aquariums to add these because they're just that much more attractive. They do have a magnifying glass piece on it. There are three different ones. There's the E100, E100M, and E100B. 5-gallon bucket is another favorite. I just moved recently, so sponge filters really came in handy when you're transporting the fish with a battery air pump. Okay, good. Okay, I got to go put the kid to bed. Y'all have fun. Good topic, Jay. Thank you very much. Oddball, enjoy those moments. Clamps make life so much easier for acclimation and water changes. Yes. So steady temperature. They don't get really hot. They're attractive. They have this white silicone piece over it. You could take it off if you like. Really cool light, very inexpensive, and has a lot of different uses. You can use it to grow plants. I can use it just to highlight a smaller aquarium. It comes with its little clamp and a very, very adjustable arm. So that is number 2 on the list for moi. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. So a lot of people are using clamps. That's awesome to see. I'm completely sold on filter foam. When compared to pre-made filters, it catches so much more yuck. Filter foam, do you have a specific brand that you like? This is a great opportunity for folks to learn what a lot of us are doing to better our aquariums, better our hobby, make it, more efficient for us. Spare pieces of Hot Wheels track to raise tank lids. I've only got, okay, so here's another thing. Actually, I want to show you this. So Congo tank, I think I can grab this. Shaboom. The Congo tank here, as you can see, has lids. This does not. I recently got a dehumidifier. Brine shrimp do count as a product, I guess. So I recently just got a dehumidifier because I have open top tank there for saltwater. I've got the turtle tanks open top. I've got all of the nano betta tanks in Wendy's new office. And then I've got, all those desktops. Of course, this one. And 2 desktops on that rack with zebra plecos and all of Liam's shrimp. Just take a guess. If I keep the dehumidifier and I want to bring it to 50%, take a wild guess at how many gallons minimum I'm pulling out of the air a day. Now, granted, it is high humidity outside. It's winter. It's 69 degrees in the house. Keep that in mind. I'm going to grab an item that I want to show you because I think it's really cool. Ugh, need a better chair. So I'll let a couple more people guess. And then I'm going to show you something. But there's just a lot of evaporation. And I love the look of 20 gallons. No, it's definitely not 20 gallons, unless you're talking about liters. But I love the open top look. It's clean. I have 0 framing around this. I've got 0 framing around, I guess, all of the tanks but the Congo tank. And I am dumping 6 gallons at least a day. And that's to keep it at 50%. And I only noticed it, no lie, there was water condensating on the inside of the windows. And I said, well, the house isn't that old. I don't think it could be, an issue of seals. Now, granted, all houses have some seal issues. And it was very, very upsetting because I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't even sleeping very well. So that's another thing I'm going to talk about in the private live. But I pick up a dehumidifier. It says it does 4,000 square feet. I don't know if that's true, but I don't even know what this house is that we're renting. But 6 gallons. And I'm literally pulling that much out. All of the condensation stopped on the windows. I've been sleeping better for the last 3 or 4 nights. My body is adjusting to the less humidity. My skin is not as supple, but holy cow. So I wanted to try to not only do that, because at some point when we move, we're going to have a room, and I'm going to put a room, of course, but an aquarium room, and all the aquariums will be in there. So I wanted to have a dehumidifier that I liked, I understood, that worked, and I found it. It was great. But I still wanted to mitigate the evaporation. So I reached out to some folks that do, look at these guys, always hungry, acrylic, and it's so expensive to get a lid made. It's absolutely insane to get either a glass lid made, a 2-3 part lid made. Either way, just for that little 24-18-18, it's like $150. This is going to be 3 times that. And I'm not crafty with that stuff, and I don't really have a lot of time, but there is a company by the name of Vivid Creative Aquatics. Look them up. But I reached out to them. Granted, I jacked up because I went off of what the website said. But I sent him an idea, and he 3D printed me clips to go on the outside of the aquarium. And then I'm going to have locally the thickest acrylic that I can get from a big box retailer, and like a Lowe's, a Home Depot, a place like that, and break it up into 3 panels. And so we've got the measurement down today. I bought calipers, and we are going to rock and roll. These are, I think, 19 millimeters, and that's what the website said, that was 19 millimeter glass. It's actually 15 millimeter, just a little over, but we're revamping these bad boys, and we'll be able to just plop it on. It blends really well. Acrylic, the reason why I wanted it designed like this is so that the acrylic sits flush with this. Now I know I'm going to get some bowing over time, but at least with this, it'll sit flush in the aquarium on that side, so you won't see it. It's great. So just very excited about that. Unless you know somebody that could make something that doesn't cost $1 quadrillion, that would be fantastic. So, was admiring my coral and spotted a red parasite worm from coral climbing on the rock. How do I get it out? Physically remove it. The pet stores are so expensive. If you have Woodman's grocery store nearby, check it out. Filter foam for less than $4. Bug bite food less than $4. Marina filters $13 to $20. So I kind of ginger coal. I get it. So it's really hard for me even to answer this. Like, you have a grocery store nearby that sells stuff way cheaper than your local fish store, but they don't have the knowledge or expertise that your fish store would have. I happen to be very partial to local fish stores because they truly are a backbone of product, and working with a company that gets product out into the market. Now, I'm not saying without them it would be failed, but what I'm saying is they provide a service that online could never do. We take advantage of it. We take it for granted, and we get information, and then we run somewhere else. And so if you have your favorite online place, continue using it. But I would recommend that if you do have a local fish store, check it out. If it's not good, it's not good. But at least give them the opportunity to earn your business. Even if you pay a couple more bucks, just know that they're going to take way better care of you than, let's say, a grocery store. So let's get on to another product. So I've done 2 products. The third one, Candy Smooth. Boom. Bug Pro. Oh, brand of the year. Northfin, of course, from Northfin USA. Use the code Candy just put up, JWilson15, get 15% off. There's a lot of other stuff on that website, by the way. But Bug Pro, the reason why I like Bug Pro is I can feed it to my Tropheus. I could feed it to the Congos. I could feed it to the Bettas. Honestly, I could feed it to my springtails for the frogs. Almost every animal can eat this consistently because it's not that thick packed, super rich protein. It's a very clean protein. It's something more natural for their bodies to digest. Now with Tropheus, of course, I don't feed them this every day, but they do get quite a bit more of this than they would, let's say, krill. And then I use flake, but I mean, you folks can use whatever you want. But this is a kick butt product. And I used to take forever to go through food, but now I'm like halfway done. And there are these little itty bitty discs that Northfin created. And I mean, every time I drop them in, it don't matter if they just ate or not. They go straight for it. It's Spug Pro. It's always here. It's always going to be here as long as it's around. So, Candy, I hope you had an amazing birthday, young lady. If everybody could do me a favor and wish Candy a happy birthday. I know it's belated, but it would be really cool. Home Depot also cuts glass sheets. Yes, they do. It's just going to come down to cost, which one's less expensive. I have to run a whole house humidifier here. Whew. Yeah, no, not here. I couldn't even tell you what the humidity is because I've got little humidity checkers throughout the house now. So, clamps. We got them. The little Zetlite puck light. We got them. Bug Pro from Northfin. We got them. The next two products have really, one of them has made life significantly easier when it comes to doing water changes. Yes, it is a Seche product. I didn't know I needed it until I had it, but it's called the Ultra Zero. I've done videos on Instagram on it. Seche has done some videos on it. I've got some newer videos coming out. I don't care what you want to say. You work for Seche, of course you're going to pick a Seche product. You're right. But there's a reason. And it's actually what I was talking to my boss about today because I'm working on a program for social media for next year. And I said, you know, the term influence is there, right? It's present. But I like more of an ambassador, somebody that actually likes or loves. I don't like to use the word love all the time, but I do use it. But likes a product or a brand because of specific things, not because they provide them something. And I was saying that, you know, I talk about these products, not all of them, because I don't love all of the products. I don't like all of the products from Seche because I don't have a need for them. I know their capabilities, but if I see a product, even from Seche, that I'm not a huge fan of, I'll tell you. I will tell you, but this is not one of them. This is the Ultra Zero. It is tiny. 4 women run this company. Bing, win. It's Italian made. Bing, another win. Kick butt warranty because you get bing, moi, win. But more importantly, it does what it says it does. It has a 3/4 inch. That's a standard Python, standard garden hose, boop, 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 screw. Drop it into your body of water. It could be a clogged sink. It could be an aquarium. You could be moving an aquarium, moving water. It does not matter. That is absolutely absurd. Chris Biggs. That's insane. It should never cost that. Ever. This is $99 US retail. Do the conversion to Canadian. Chris, if you need help finding one for the Canadian exchange of 99 USD, I'll be more than happy to help you out, sir. But 329 Canadian is absurd. This is it in a nutshell. Very, very easy to carry. Now, can you get something similar to this on Amazon? Absolutely, but they're much bigger. Much bigger. This will drain any body of water that you have down to 1/8 of an inch. It will also suck solids of 1 millimeter. It can be clogged, of course, because it's coming from this area, but you literally sit it and watch it drain. Moving aquariums has never been easier. This is not an infomercial. This is me being passionate. I have a hose always connected. It's in my garage in a tub. I pull it out, drop it in, run the hose to bucket so that I can use it for plants. And then bang, I drop this in the tub. The tub's filled up. The water has been conditioned and choop, and it goes back in. Insane. Almost, what is it? 900 800 gallons an hour? Yeah, 800 gallons an hour, US gallons, 3,000 liters an hour. And it's got a head height of 10 feet. So what that means is you can push water up 10 feet. Now, keep in mind, if you make the hose bigger, more water is going to be in there. The head height's going to be less. Turns, things like that will reduce it. I hear something fluttering. It was the fridge. But this, 99 bucks, lifesaver. I used it moving aquariums in 2020. I've used it doing water changes in 2020. I've used it to dredge my front area at my old house when it was wet in 2020. It works. It's fantastic. And it's inexpensive. And it's built really well. And this is a very popular product in 2020. I don't know if it's worldwide, but I know North America wide, it's very popular. Let me read some comments real quick. I need one of those. My shark from Seache in my kid's tank does not snap close on the sponge part. Is this common? No, that's not common at all. Check to see if that plastic piece, when you're popping it off, if you're popping it off really hard, see if it's bent. You can always message me on Instagram or Facebook, and we can discuss it more. But I'm available to help all the troubleshooting that you need. Brand ambassador. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. I'd rather somebody be a brand ambassador than be an influencer, because an influencer, I guess to me, and I could be one at times too, I've never taken money just to talk about a product, ever. I've taken product to look at it, to discuss it. And then, if it turns out that product's no longer available, or I shift, I explain why I shifted to that next product. Don't get me started on a massive price difference on products available in Canada compared to the US. Well, I have plenty of stores in Canada that carry it for MAP price, Canadian MAP, which is very similar to our MAP, just with the exchange rate. And yeah, I mean, I've been to Canada. I get it. I've been there quite a bit, but there is a price difference on a lot of stuff. But on most of the stuff I'm showing you, matter of fact, this is made in Canada. Oh, Canada, right here. So pretty snazzy. Okay, so we discussed clamps, Bug Pro, Zet Light, Seache Ultra Zero. I want to give some honorable mentions because I have a flipper pretty much on every tank. And I've used mag floats prior to 2019. 2020, these have come in very handy because of how strong the magnet is. Yes, the mag float floated, but now this also floats. And they're great. I used it today. I mean, I probably use it a couple times a week, especially on this side because of all the light that hits it. But I've got one in the salt tank. I've got mini ones all over the place. They're great. They're awesome. I wish I had all the floats. Flipper, if you're watching, I need all the floats. But they're not cheap. They're not cheap. I didn't buy all of these, but I bought half of them, and they are not cheap. But this Max is so powerful. And what's neat is as you go around the turns, if you flip it, it then goes to the other side so you can use a scraper. So I never have to worry about finding a scraper or utilizing something like that. It's just really, really awesome. Let's see. I find the brass snap-on for pythons very useful. Oh, yes, absolutely. I would highly recommend if you can take a plastic component out and convert it to brass for aquariums. It's fantastic. Got a Title 110 on a 49 and a Title 75 on a 36 and love it. Just thought I would chirp, not from Canada, but close. Yeah, I mean, Titles are fantastic. They're a wonderful product that Seachem sells, and I've used them. I've had them. I don't have them anymore. I've purchased all of the ones that I've used. but it was also a laughing point when I was in the interview process with Siche, because in that video, I do not say the name correctly. So, yeah, it's a running joke. So we've been running, I mean, power heads, I can live without them. I mean, granted, my Congo tank, I cannot. My saltwater tank, unfortunately, I cannot. This tank I could, but I have a little itty bitty, so I didn't include that in something that I would always use. But the next one for me is a big one because it's the only thing that I utilize now, 100%. Like 100% of my aquariums run this. And it's that beneficial for me for one main reason. For me, it's just one reason. Well, I guess maybe two, but for one major reason. I'm not drinking margaritas. I am drinking Eagle Rare and Coke Zero. Jay, how long have you been in the hobby? Technicality-wise, since I was 7. YouTube-wise, 2012. Keeping aquariums consistently, 2008 to present. So you could say most of my life, or you can say 12 years, going on 13 years. It just depends on how you want to look at it. But I'm a noob with saltwater. Matter of fact, I'm getting a new light. I'm excited about that. I'll do some videos on that. And so let me preface with, I'm going to do a video on that. I haven't been doing videos for the last couple weeks, and it's been a couple of reasons. My son was with us for quite a bit of time, and there's no time to do a video with him unless I go live. And then I just had some other stuff going on, but I'm working towards a plan to systematically get videos out. I'm working with a couple of folks that are helping me develop that plan. So yeah, my saltwater tank, somebody just went, it's cool. It really is. And it's phenomenal, the growth that I'm having, but I'm having some light issues. Even when they're turned all the way up on an 18-inch deep tank, I've got some coral that are reaching for more light, and I shouldn't have to move them up. Jay, what's your opinion on algae scrubbers? Do you think they help with nitrates? Oh, yeah. Yes, they do. Definitely work. It's like a very similar to planted aquariums, right? The more plants that are consuming those nitrates, the lower they are. I don't want to say that any aquarium would ever be at 0. I'm not a scientist. It's probably possible, but I don't think that it's necessarily good, because if you have 0 nitrates, then how the heck is the bacteria converting? Now, that's in my head. I'm stuck there. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a microbiologist, but I understand the nitrification cycle, what types of bacteria do it, how they do it. And yeah, maybe that's a video at some point, where I don't think I'm ever going to do public speaking unless it's like select events. But I used to give a talk on bacteria. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Has to be very rewarding, saltwater. It is. It's also very frustrating because they move. Like you can't escape it like you can in an aquarium. I put a plant there, the plant stays there unless it's a wasser tank, right? And I didn't say it right. You can hate me. I understand. But if I put an anemone on a piece of rock and I want it right there, tomorrow that anemone is up top here. And then Thursday it is down here, until it finds a place that it is extremely comfortable. And so it's very difficult for me when I set something up to then watch it move. Some of the rewarding parts are when you have encrusting corals that start to take shape of the rock. That's pretty awesome. I've got a rock that Wendy and I worked on that has a lot of different color zoas, which basically look like little daisies, daisy discs, very colorful. And they're all morphing together. Well, I shouldn't say morphing. They're all growing together over this rock. It looks really great. So it is very rewarding. A lot of work, especially in a small aquarium. Way more work than a freshwater aquarium, but and way more expensive. Way more. John Edwards, my man. What did you think of the season finale of The Mandalorian? I don't like that it's that short, but I thought it was a fantastic arc. There's only so much love for Mando, the Mandalorian, because the Mandalore are a group of people, right? And then you have, Mandalore itself, and then you have the clones and Boba Fett, and then Boba Fett from Mandalore and Boba Fett. There's so many different renditions, and I'm learning all of this stuff because my son is absolutely enthralled. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a prototype Boba Fett helmet, and I've got a regular Boba Fett helmet, and then he got Incinerator Trooper, Darth Vader, and Shadow Trooper, and he's been on the Sith Trooper, the red one, and Target just did a pre-order for a Target exclusive Sith Trooper red helmet. The kid is pumped. I mean, heck, that Boba Fett helmet, we drove 3.5 hours, and I traded a bunch of Ninja Turtles in just so I can get it. But yeah, we were running around having a blast with him. He loves them. Some of them do voice changing. Anyways, I thought it was a good arc to Boba Fett. What I think now, based on what I'm seeing, is that we're going to learn all about the Mandalorian lookalikes, the Mandalores, the clones, and I think it's going to be really good. Ruben Rivera, thoughts on salt in a freshwater tank? I got a 125, got a hurt pleco, he got stuck in a log, lots of community fish, cats, tetras, rasboras, neons. Salt has its place. It really does. Do I think it's necessary? Well, yeah, there's alkalinity in regular water, but we're not testing for that, which some of us should be depending on where we live. But utilizing, I think it's magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt, is most aquarium salt. Everybody goes, use table salt. Morton salt is usually a base in saltwater aquarium salt. Magnesium sulfate, I could be wrong, but I believe it's magnesium sulfate is Epsom salt. And that is usually what you see from like API, other brands that have salt. Can you use other stuff? Yes. Do I think it's needed? No. Does it provide some necessity in certain times? Yeah. But you could probably get by with just keeping better aquarium water. That's a feeling. Once a saltwater tank matures, it is less work. No. This small aquarium will always be a lot of work. Even if I added magnesium chloride. Is that right? Is that Epsom salt? I said sulfate, right? Oh, wait. Even if I added an auto top off so that the evaporation would stop, it is a pain because it's done. I don't do anything. All I do is feed coral and feed fish. And you don't really have to feed coral either unless you want them to grow. I want them to grow. I do water changes. But the evaporation, the changing of salinity and alkalinity and magnesium and chloride, and when certain corals aren't growing. So there is a fine line. I am not techie into it. I'll never be that techie into it because I mean, a dang aquarium light's like $800, like a good one, a really good one. So they're work. I'm gonna go bigger, but they're definitely work. But they're very, very rewarding. You just have to have patience, and you can't. I don't think I can leave that tank for 10, 15 days like I can leave this guy. Like I believe I can leave. Like I know I don't believe I can leave this guy for 10 days and be okay. I couldn't do that to that saltwater tank. Couldn't. There's too many things that can happen. With this, there's not that many things that can happen. So what's your go-to for testing parameters? That's a tough one. So I've been utilizing API test kits for a long time. They're not 100% accurate, but they're accurate enough. I've been utilizing HANA testers. I really want to try Aquaforest. Has magnesium, calcium, and I forgot what the other one is. It may be alkalinity, but they have a test. It's real easy. But API, usually freshwater. There are a ton of other tests. If you're really crazy into it, look up ICP analysis. That would be fantastic for freshwater. If you're really trying to hone in on what you have and what you don't have your freshwater tested in ICP analysis. It'll break it down to the mineral that's in that water. And then you can truly find out, what type of fish you can keep or what supplementation you need for your freshwater aquarium to keep that specific fish. Is there water in the tank behind you? Wow, talk about crystal clear. It's actually not that clear in person. It is a little cloudy because I've been running a test for myself when it comes to cleaning aquarium filters. And I've done a couple water changes, but these fish produce a lot of waste. There's multiple different species in here, and it's probably due. I forgot when I set this up, but I haven't cleaned a filter yet. So it's probably time to clean at least one of them. So it leads me to this. Not the end, but the final product for me in 2020. And I am going to give you a preface to it. Can anybody tell me what 2 brands of aquarium filters I would always keep in my aquarium room? We use the API as well for Tetra strips. Oh, Tetra strips are horrendous. Or nitrates stay at 10 ppm or lower in our 55 and 40 gallon, but the 10 gallon seems to linger closer to 2020 or 20 ppm. I'm guessing that's due to size. Yeah, I would say it is. You're not doing as much water changes, and there's not that much, mass when it comes to the body of water. And so I would suspect that you're still feeding, and ultimately, if you maybe did a little bit more water change, it'd be okay. So a lot of Krager's fish got it. Sun and FX6. I don't know if I'm the one that's ever done that, but if you see a FX6 in Sun, I don't know if it came from me, but that's what I would run on everything, an FX and whatever. Keep in mind, these filters were never, ever right behind me. I never worked out of the office. I never had one next to my couch like it is now. I was never so much concerned with sound. I never paid a lot of attention to some finer things that I wish I could have had or didn't have. But over time, I've gotten a chance to really test out a lot of different canister filters. Canister filters are probably my favorite filtration devices. If I was going to not use canister filters, it would probably have to be internal filters and then maybe hang on the backs, but they're an eyesore. They have their place. I think sponge filters are fantastic. They're hideous. And really the only thing that they're doing is biological and the air that's helping oxygenate the water. In my opinions, don't go crazy. So it's really hard. Somebody just said, hello, shrimp. I can't read this. This isn't Italian. Can somebody, what does mostra mean? Accept. Oh, no, it wasn't accept. Let me see. Nope, it says error. Somebody said they shared one link from a Canadian dealer that says 125 Canadian A, and then that's it. Oh, we can't accept him anymore. Shows you how much I know. But that's one person. I don't know how much it is, and I can't see the link, so I apologize. But let me get back to what I was saying. I just can't do sponge filters. They have their place. They really, really do. I just don't want them in my show tanks at all. Zero, zilch, nada, won't do it. And there are other, like the Shark ADV from Seche. Great replacement. Has a Venturi system. You can turn it on when you need to. It's small enough. It's easy to use. There's the Micron. It's smaller. I've used all these. Canister filters are my favorite by far. However, when I took the job with Seche, it looks really silly if I'm filtering my aquariums with another brand. Am I right? Am I right? So I knew at the time that Seche had canister filters. I want you to ask your questions because this is my favorite product outside of the Ultra Zero that I use because I am running 8 of them in this house as of right now. There will be 11 when it's all said and done. There are 3 behind me. There are 2 less than 5 feet in front of me. There are 5 Whale 500s in this room running right now. You hear a trickle of water coming from the saltwater overflow box. It's the Whale canister filter from Seche. This is the 350. I'm not running any. Actually, I am. I'm running one 350 on my Sense Turtle tank. There are 2 reasons why, even if I wasn't with Seche, I would take this filter over an FX6. Hear me out. If somebody said you can have an FX6 or you can have a Whale 500, I would take the free Whale 500 and buy another one. Mainly because of how flippin' quiet they are. Build quality, phenomenal. I'm not even going to talk on it more than I've talked to a couple people that have used other brands, and they said I was a little disappointed in some others, and I couldn't believe how solid this was. Gallons per hour wise, the Whale 500 and the FX6 do not match on paper. The FX6 is far superior number-wise than the FX6. I measured decibel levels of the FX6 to the FX5. Decibel levels are sound, and I will tell you that I was getting about 65 to 67. The Whale is coming in at 42, 43. I use the same method, the same measurement, the same distance. Then I used 2 Whales together next to an FX6, unplugged it, did the whole thing. They were never running simultaneously in terms of 2 different brands. Still quieter than the FX6. Everybody tells me I'm BSing, but anyone that comes through that door, anyone, says, are your filters on? Every time. It's insane. That is the #1 reason. I have a sensitivity to sound. The trickle, because my doors are open for the first time, wide open. Wendy is out to dinner with a friend, and the trickle is bothering me, and it's all the way in the end of the living room. The FX6 and the Whale 500 side by side. I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but I had an FX6 running on the side of this aquarium. I had a Whale 500 running on this. The flow, every other day, alternate feeding, the flow out of the FX6 depleted faster than the Whale 500. And the Whale 500 was dirtier when I cleaned it. That's just not because I work for them. It has its own little deal. So somebody said they all hum. I get that. I didn't say it was 0 decibels. That's why I use decibel numbers. Everything hums that moves. I mean, even a Tesla car still has a sound. I measured it in decibel readings. It's over 20 decibels quieter. If I'm going to stick that thing in a bedroom, a living room right behind me while I'm working in 2020 and 2021 from home, or I've got a movie going, I don't want to hear, don't think so. And there's a reason why. It's not Fluval's fault. It's because they took a pond filter and they made it an aquarium filter. It's fantastic. This, money in the bank. It has some flaws that need to be corrected in the future. They all hum because they don't know the words Teo. But the other main reason is I can dial the flow strength from the top. That's a win. I don't have to go underneath the aquarium and do the whole deal. As much as people do this up top, it's a game changer for me. It's very easy to clean. I did find the Fluval to be a little bit strenuous when it came to canisters. It's probably, I don't know, probably the most lengthy cleaning of any canister based on its design. But yeah, it's the ultra easy to clean, quiet, and I love it. Price point difference. It was probably said I might have missed it getting 9-year-old to bed. Sorry if I could get a heads up. No, it's all good. I didn't even talk about price. Because on paper, the numbers don't match. But one of the things that I can say confidently is when CJ puts a gallons per hour rating on something, they're very odd. Let's see. I think this one is even. I forgot what it says. There are some that are very, very odd. Like it's like 756 gallons per hour. So the 500 is almost 400 gallons an hour, but it's legitimate gallons per hour. That's what you're going to get. I have found other things that kind of reduce flow when you add media. Sea Chase comes with really all the media you would need, and you don't really need to change much of it out. And it fits more media than what the FX6 does, in my opinion, based on the media that I use. I believe map price, I know map price is just over $200, like $205. You can find them sometimes $179. Blows away any of the 400 series. I don't care what it is, blows it away. FX4, I would take a 500 all the time. I always put at least 2 canisters on any aquarium, 75 or larger, mainly because I do backgrounds and I carry African cichlids. And I like the redundancy because it is the heart of my aquarium. Anything that's moving water or filtering your aquarium is the heart. So if you've got a return pump in your saltwater aquarium, it's the heart. Have a backup. I'm running 3 on this tank because I have monster freaking catfish in here. I've got the Dardanelle, which are growing, and I have a lot of Tropheus in here that are going to grow, and I wanted to make sure that I could cover that bioload. I would have put 2 FX6s on here for size-wise, and I would have followed it up probably with an FX4 or a smaller can, maybe a Sun. But that's why I don't carry those. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I've got a great benefit because it's an ultra quiet filter and I work for the company that manufactures them. And it just so happens that it's not a chuncy, cheapo product. So I like that. And the warranty is really good. See those tubes too? They're not massive, like paddles. I did a water change on my tank 4 days ago and now it's cloudy. Please help, my tank is cycled and everything. Well, it was cycled before you did that and it's cloudy for a reason. So is it cloudy because you interrupted the cycle because it's a continuation of it? Or is it because you kicked up everything and now you've got an agitation and your tank's not stable? My recommendation is to double check all of your major parameters, your ammonia, your nitrite, and your nitrate, and then make sure that you have everything in order. And if that's the case, be patient, don't feed, try to keep your lights off if you can for a couple of days and allow the tank to stabilize. Thanks for the event, Jay, and thanks to the moderators. James Green, you have a wonderful night. So $200 for the Whale 500. I don't even know what the FX6 is. Folks always go, just wait till Black Friday on PetSmart and it's going to be cool. I think you can get them for like $200. But you have to wait. And to me, that's kind of crappy to all the other retailers that sell it for their MAP price. I'm not a fan. Are you still using Monster 360? Yes. I have it under the aquarium. I use it in the turtle tank. I use it in this tank. I do not use it in the Congo tank because I don't need to. I think that's it when it comes to, does anybody have any crazy questions? If you're looking for the Ultra Zero in Canada, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, preferably Instagram, and I'll do my best to help you out. But I want to end with this, and then I'm going to get to a members only live. 2021 is not going to be any different than 2020 if you go into 2021 with the same mindset. Now, this is the last chance in 2020 that I get on a live video to be as impactful as I can be. Whether you watch it now or you watch it 2 years from now, it's the same message. You can't leave 1 year and go into the next year with the same mindset. If you're lazy, you're going to be lazy. The clock switching with the calendar does not change your actions. The only thing it does is gives you the opportunity to make a finite decision to say, now is the time for change. I don't care politically. I don't care religiously. I don't care what you're dealing with in terms of all of your strife. What I can tell you is all over the world, problems are similar. All over the world. Briano Ruiz, grazie. But you, me, we can't play a victim. It's our life. Nobody is living it for us, and no one can tell us how to live it. There are guidelines in which we think ethically in our character we should fall into a lane. We have the opportunity to make bad decisions. We have the opportunity to make great decisions. If you live in the United States, you have more freedoms than maybe you would have in other countries. But at the end of the day, you get two dates. You get one on the left side and you get one on the right side. It's the new and it's the end. What you do in the middle of that has everything to do with every decision you make. Right now, my goal is to purchase a home with Wendy. Something where we can have a pond and all of our aquariums fit. If I stick around from now until a month before I want to look, that's not setting us up for success. And success can mean millions of different things to millions of different people. But success to me is achieving that goal of having that home. The one that we want, the one that fits all of our needs. And so what I do right now will impact what happens 6 months from now. But we fail to realize that. What we take to our children, our friends, our family, our career, that impacts what happens 6 months from now. Everybody's worried about $600 or $2,000 from what? From the United States government to hand you money, and that is going to change your life? $600, $2,000. What is it going to change? Or is it just going to buy you a little bit more time? And if it's just a little bit more time for you to make another mistake, then it was never worth it. But if you're going to take that money and invest it and use it and put it into a college fund or use it to purchase something that you really need, not necessarily want. Now, I have things in here that I want. I purchased them. Were they the best decisions? Maybe not. But for me, it brings me joy. But right now, those things are on hold so that I can achieve a goal, a dream. So I'm asking you, 2021 is fairly close. 28 hours away. What change are you going to make for you, your family? Are you going to stop being lazy at work and maybe be more impactful? Maybe bring more energy and efficiency and enjoyment to what you do. And if you don't, change it. Well, I don't want to move to another state. Okay. So you don't want to, but have you really looked into it? Is it that difficult? Change is very scary, but change happens every day and it's inevitable. But you don't want to make that decision. The same decision that was so hard tonight to decide what you wanted for dinner. Am I right? Hey, babe, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. You pick. Tacos? I don't want tacos. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Well, you don't want tacos. Let's get pizza. I don't want pizza either. You see where I'm going with this? Stop complaining. Be grateful. Be grateful. Make that change. I truly believe it. I truly believe it's real. If you make that change, you will find that so many other amazing things will fall into place. I'm not going to say everything's going to be peaches, rainbows, and unicorn farts. What I'm saying is making a change for the betterment of you, your squad, the people around you, your family. You're going to find that there's going to be more positives than negatives. And if you get negatives, remember them, push them aside, and continue. Improve. The only easy day was yesterday. That I know for sure. And honestly, with the way things in life are going, I heard something one time that said, we have no best used by date. So what are you doing? Seriously. Pain? It's worth it if there's a bigger outcome. Folks, you got to take some things seriously. Let's get it. 2021 is a chance for you to reset right now. Tomorrow morning, you wake up, you reset. You get up, you do whatever it is you got to do, and you remain positive. Doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days. It just means that you're going to be on a better path to a better you, a better tomorrow, and a better future. Thank you so much for watching, liking, doing all those amazing things. Share this video. Tell them to watch to the end or just skip to the end. You know what's next. Actually, see you in 2021. Holla!